No, I just was gonna say I completely forgot what I was talking about because I went on that little I don't know if I'd call it tangent, but like I don't know. It just this is what just leads the interviews to be like an hour long. I think I end
That's
up
great.
finding somebody that I can synergize well with, and then we talk for a while.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we were talking about your Jolteon character, and I really like the concept, as I said. Um, I guess we'll go on to the next question.
There is a few things I'd like to comment about some of the things you said, real quick though.
Okay, that's fine.
First, you mentioned Ben Elated as like mentioning me a lot in your stream, in like your streams or on your YouTube channel.
Yes.
You may be interested to know that around that same time, Ben was doing the same thing for you on my channel.
Oh, well, that's
Yep.
interesting.
So
Um,
he was kind of trying connecting. He was like kind of subtly trying to like push us together, I guess.
I guess just the world works in special ways. I'll say that's pretty cool because I always like finding new creators, and especially the smaller ones that deserve more recognition. I'd say you do, but it seems like you're collaborating with a lot of different people, and that's cool. How
Hmm.
you're getting your name out there. There's just so many things to say. Uh, I end up losing my train of thought sometimes, but I think that's really that's pretty cool how Ben. It seems like he's just trying to bring people together. Then that's for his age. I really like how he's just he's being really supportive for people, and it brings me back to this.
Hmm.
That's once again Ben. He seems like he talks about a lot of different stuff, and it's kind of cool how we can take note of this stuff. He's a really cool kid though for his age, I gotta say, and I I feel kind of bad because I was saying earlier like I tend to swear in my videos, and I was even playing a rated M game in my channel. I hope that that didn't cause him to change as a person, but you kind of think about those things sometimes. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm getting off topic again, but yes, that's I think Ben's really cool. How he's just kind of like that guy that or that one person you don't really think about that just kind of like they're just really upbeat and supporting.
Hmm. I agree. He's a very nice person, and I'm glad I got to meet him.
Yeah, same. I'm glad he's so supportive on Discord too, and I hope he has like a he just keeps like he keeps being the way he's being. Like I think he'll get somewhere in it because he always talks about how he beats like every game or he'll I think he 100% games or something. And I don't know. I
Hmm.
didn't expect to talk about Ben during this. I know with Icy's interview that's kind of obvious, but
Hmm.
he just kind of shows up, I guess you could say. But I guess I'll go on to the next question. Do you have anything
Hmm.
else to say though before I ask? Because I don't mind if you have anything on your mind if you want to bring up.
It's interesting. Like you keep bringing up so many interesting things. I think I may have like forgotten one of them, but like I don't worry about that too much. Uh, is there anything I wanted to say? Well, if it comes back to me, I'll bring it up. Let's go to the next question.
Okay, yeah. I honestly was thinking of like typing something out real quick if I forget something, because sometimes I get these things on my mind. Well, we just talk about so much stuff, but probably best we do go to the next question. But
Yeah.
I'll ask. I'm really liking your new My Pokemon World series. Um, I gotta ask, what inspired you to start that?
Well, you may have remembered from a little bit earlier, like when I talked about the Poke Ego. I said that my animations like kind of focused around that group. So it's like I kind of had this like unsaid rule that like if I was gonna make an animation, it needed to focus on one of my favorite Pokemon, which that's kind of how it was for a while. But I eventually decided to like actually pretty recently, like last year, reassess that, and I'm like, I'm probably one of the few people doing like live action Pokemon stuff. And there's a bunch of people who like Pokemon, like certain Pokemon that may not be in my favorites. So I think it might be a wise idea to branch out a little bit and maybe feature some more Pokemon that from like all different sorts of all different sorts of people like. So that was kind of the basis. The other basis was that again I kind of wanted to like really hone in on that this is Pokemon in our world. Like this is real life Pokemon. So I came up with that kind of naming scheme, my Pokemon world. So it's like this is my Pokemon world. This is our world, except there's Pokemon in it, and this is what it would be like if Pokemon were in real life. These are some of the shenanigans they would do, or this is some of the places you could find them. And going from that, I decided to branch off the series into two different categories. So there's My Pokemon World Shorts, which is kind of similar to what my Poké Shorts was, except again it features a more wide range of Pokemon. So like my first episode, the only one I have up at the time of at this time is like Amiibo Uprising, which is of course features Jolteon, but I'm thinking like going forward I might feature like some more Pokemon. So like I kind of have an idea regarding Appleton right now. So like the Gen 8 Pokemon with the apple.
I saw that teaser on your Twitter. Was that a teaser, or was that like just a model you made?
It was a I wouldn't say it was really a big teaser. It's basically like, okay, I have this idea that I might go through with, but so I said like, you know what, I better take the model out, clear up some of its materials, name some things accordingly, give it a proper rig that I can animate with. So I did that this morning, and I just said, you know what, I just did all this thing, why don't I just make like a quick render and just put it out there? And that's what the Appleton render was. But anyway, that is basically the idea. So it's like for My Pokemon World Shorts, if like, so let's say somebody comes along in my comments and says like, I want to see an animation with I don't know, throw a Pokemon at me.
Keldeo.
Keldeo. I actually really like Keldeo as well, and I could talk about that for a long time. But like, let's say that I want to see a Pokemon animation with Keldeo, or I want to see one with Meganium, or I want to see one with Wurmple, or I want to see one with what's another one?
Mewtwo.
Squirtle.
I don't know. Or yeah,
Wobbuffet. Or Mewtwo. Wobbuffet. And like, I don't have to restrict myself by saying like, oh, it's not one of my favorite Pokemon, so I'm just gonna like kind of toss that idea to the side. It kind of lets me branch out a little bit, and like people can watch my channel and think like, okay, what's the next video? What's the Pokemon that's gonna show up in his next video? But yeah, so regarding, that's kind of what Shorts is it's basically like a bit more of a cinematic animation that kind of has like a beginning and end. It's kind of like a point A to point B story, whereas Safaris, which is kind of the other version of My Pokemon World Shorts, is it's kind of a showcase of like, if you walked outside and Pokemon were real, this is kind of like where you could find them, or where you would expect, like this is what they'd be doing. So like my first episode was like at a beach somewhere in Florida. So it's like, if you walked out on that beach, here's some of the Pokemon you would find, here's what they would be doing, stuff like that. So it's kind of like one of those things where it focuses more on like geography. So it's like, let's say like I take a trip like a year from now over to some city. So let's like say I go to a city in somewhere on the West Coast, or somewhere in Central America, or somewhere like that. I could bring my camera, just film random B-roll footage, and then composite Pokemon in there and make an episode out of that.
Okay, I really like how you have this travel aspect as well. I know you said Iceland was a pretty... I think it's kind of like almost a staple of your channel. You really like that place.
Mm-hmm. It kind of is a... The reason I like Iceland so much is I've always liked Scandinavian countries, or countries that are kind of cold, so like Norway, Finland, Iceland. And last year, not last year, it would be like 2 years or so from now, my school actually had this trip, like this extracurricular trip, to Iceland. So like they had like an ornithology trip, ornithology, which is like the study of birds. They had this class, and the thing at the end was that you would go to Iceland, explore the area, see some birds. And I thought to myself, like, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, you are crazy for actually thinking this. But I signed up for the class, which was kind of a summer class, a summer, like, midterm. And my main, pretty much, like, not my entire reason, but, like, my main reason for doing it was to visit Iceland and record footage in Iceland so I could come back and composite Pokemon into them.
That's really cool. Like, I once again, I like how you add this travel aspect. Like, you're going above and beyond. You're going to different cities. You're going to different countries, even. And, like, that makes me think, when you said about those beaches, I really liked that scene you made with the Pyukumuku washing up. I think it's really innovative what you're doing, and I think the My Pokemon World series is taking what you've done before on your channel, and you're like expanding upon it. It's like a new evolution, pun not intended, of your channel and just kind of the future. I like that. And I hope you keep going with your My Pokemon World series, and I look forward to hopefully attending any premieres or just any videos you release in general for the series of the shorts or anything like that. And I hope you keep continuing that because. And I hope I'm able to inspire you to keep going because it's certainly something special, I'll say, and it looks like a lot of people enjoy what you made so far.
Your words are definitely inspiring to me, so thank you very much. And I'm gonna try my best to keep going with the series. It might take a little bit because obviously making animations can take a while, but hopefully it's not like a year for like 2 episodes. I'm hoping to make an episode like at least like bare minimum like one every, like either a short or a safari every like 3 months or something, but we'll see.
It's definitely something to keep in mind. Take your time for any YouTuber, creator, or anybody just doing video work in general. Take your time. Don't push yourself. I think you eventually get it out there. I think obviously a planned out project is better than a rush project. It's definitely important to do what you feel like will make that video the best, or put as many ideas as you can in there until find a good balance. Like, don't make it rushed, don't make it too overdone, but like it's really up to you in the end, I'd say. But I think like in my opinion, I think rushed work can be a little worse than overdoing something. But it's really up to you. But definitely take your time with that.
Yes, I'm like 100% a quality over quantity guy. I don't want to put something out there, and like this has, like, I do understand that there are some times where maybe you have like a deadline approaching, like not just even outside of animations, where you have like a deadline approaching for something you need to do, and you need to kind of let some things go. But I'm very much a quality over quantity guy, so it's like I'm gonna take this time, I'm gonna make sure that like this video looks the best it can be, that everything is cohesive, that it's understandable, that you know what's going on, and hopefully I'm gonna get better at that as well, in addition to like actually doing some more stuff like animation wise. So like I've been wanting to make a Pokemon battle, so like maybe I'll have like 2 Pokemon fight for like a minute and a half or something. But it's a lot harder to animate like Pokemon jumping around or using a move than it would be for them to just like sit down and like look to the left and then like do a happy expression. It takes longer to do certain things over other things, and hopefully like taking the time to just make sure all of that looks right is really important to me.
Right, exactly. You definitely have a good head on your shoulder, I'd say. Looking forward to how you got your work planned out, I'd say. One thing I want to bring up, though, I know I'm going to bit off topic. I completely forgot if you want to explain about Pocket Studios. But if you have anything else to say about your My Pokemon World Series, go ahead and say it if you want before we get to the next topic. But
okay,
go ahead.
So Pocket Studios. What Pocket Studios is it's actually a another YouTuber. So if you look up like Pocket Studios on YouTube, you'll see this guy, and he used to do like Pokemon fusion videos with like he was another 3D artist. So he would take like he'd make like these little mini short Pokemon animations, or he'd do like these Let's Plays occasionally, or he'd like do what I think he was most popular for, which was like fusing 2 Pokemon models together to kind of create like Pokemon fusion models. And like you said a lot earlier, he used to work for Birdkeeper Toby. So like if you check back some of Birdkeeper Toby's animations, and you see like a hologram of a 3D model or like a 3D Pokemon model in his video, then that was likely Pocket Studios' work. How I kind of ended up on his server and not my own is because at the time, when I was a bit smaller, there weren't a lot of people on, like, I had an older server before the one I have now. There weren't a lot of people on my server, and most of the people I knew were hanging out on a Pocket Studios server. So I thought, like, okay, I want my audience to be a part of a server that's engaging, that they can come on, they can talk to people who have similar interests to them. So I said, okay, guys, how about we all head over to Pocket Studio server and we can all talk there. And that's how it was for about 2 or 3 years. But then I just eventually decided that with my Pokemon World coming out, well, since then, before that, Sam Pocket Studios retired from YouTube about a year or two ago. So he's not really active anymore. He's not active anymore, and he doesn't really make YouTube videos anymore. So I decided, like, you know what, with my Pokemon World coming out, I think it's time that I branch out and start making my my own server again. And that's what I did. And that's what came out when my Pokemon World came out. So yeah, that's kind of what Pocket Studios is. But yeah, he was a very nice guy.
All right, I honestly thought Pocket Studios was like a collaboration group or something, because I saw your name there was recommended, Birdkeeper Toby, I think somebody else, a handful of people, and I thought it was like a collaboration channel. I'm trying to think of a name. I was a part of something like that before, but was it kind of like that? Because it sounds like it was something entirely up to Sam. It sounds like
it was his channel.
Okay.
So like, ultimately he would get the say in like what happened with his channel, and he was pretty lenient. He was kind of just like, okay, you can do whatever. So when he kind of left like kind of the cyberspace, when he wasn't really on YouTube or Discord that much anymore, and he does stop by and say hi occasionally, but basically the server kind of fell between. It was kind of a joint effort from then on with me and another person called Hollow. But again, eventually I decided they would be best if I just branched out and made my own server with my own brand name and go from there.
Okay, because I honestly thought that server was yours because you were so prominent there. I didn't realize that's what Pocket Studios was. I thought it was like a joint effort. It seems like it was with the server, but not really the content. I do remember not really much activity being there, so that makes sense, and I didn't know they ended up leaving YouTube. Not to like get stray off. Are they really planning on like they decided to do something else with their life? Is that why they kind of left the? No, they're not on the internet as much anymore.
Yeah, they're kind of doing their own thing now, but I'm probably not gonna go into too much detail about like what they're doing, because like I obviously, like, this is somebody else's like personal life, and I don't.
Right, I understand. But yeah, I hope things go well for them then. I didn't understand that's what that was, but I'm glad you cleared that up, because for a while I thought it was like a joint effort, because whenever I hear the word studio, I guess I don't know, that's kind of like a bad stereotype. I try not to stereotypes are bad, but it's just kind of like it's like an automatic thing in your mind, thinking, okay, studio, you think it's like a collaboration thing. But now that I think about it, I do have friends who have channels named that, and it's only one man band. But yeah, thank you for explaining that. Jumping around back on topic here, I want to answer that before I forgot. So next, I know you were saying this to me a bit earlier. I think it was on stream you answered this. But I might as well get this out there on the interview. But you still plan to do Blender tutorials?
Yes. My Blender tutorials were kind of in a weird spot for me, because my Blender tutorials that I have on my YouTube channel right now are by far my most popular videos on my channel, and I suspect that a good sum of my subscribers that I have right now are actually mainly following me for tutorial videos. So the reason I haven't had like a tutorial video in a while is kind of as silly as it sounds, kind of a self-confidence thing. When you know that you're going to have a lot of people who are looking towards you to tell them how to do something with either Pokemon models or just 3D work in general, I feel like I have like this little bit of pressure on me, where it's like, if I'm going to teach these people who are looking towards me to tell them how to do a certain thing, then I want to make sure I do it right. Because, like, again, looking back at some of my older tutorials, specifically like my walking animation tutorial, I look back at that now and I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? This is like the wrong way to do this. So it's like one of those things where, like, when I say again, I want to get it right, but I also have that little underlying fear where it's like, what if I'm gonna end up like leading them down the wrong path, and they're gonna end up doing things the wrong way. And I think I can kind of put a thing there where I say, like, this is my experience, this is how I do things. I'm not a professional 3D animator at like a studio like Pixar, so just take what I say to you, experiment with it, use it as a basis, and then go from there. But that's a little bit off topic. Regarding tutorials, I do plan to actually make some more, because since I made my last tutorials, Blender got a absolutely huge update. You'll often hear a lot of people refer to it as Blender 2.79 and Blender 2.8. Blender 2.79 and before has a very different interface from Blender 2.8, and all of my older tutorials were made with Blender 2.79. So people starting with Blender today are not going to have the same interface, or things might not work the exact same way as they did back in Blender 2.79. So I have to kind of so what I plan on doing is going back to some of those older videos, kind of structuring them more correctly, making sure again that I lead them down a path that's clear, understandable, easy to follow, comprehensible, and making sure, like, taking one step at a time. So maybe I'll have one tutorial video focus on just like importing 3D models into Blender and like messing around with the materials, and posing the model, and I might have another one that has how to change like the facial expressions, or how to make a Pokemon model like the shiny version, and then I might have one on 3D animation, then I might have one on like live action compositing, then I might have one on like making a flamethrower, and so on. But I do plan on I plan on doing that sometime soon. The first one will probably come out maybe even this month if I'm able to pull it off. But yeah, that's kind of where I plan to go with my tutorials.
All right, I really like that. You definitely show you're thinking about the viewer there, where, you know, it's not, if you think that this isn't the best or compared to back then, or you need to add more in-depth stuff for like teaching the viewer, you're thinking of going back to stuff like that. That's a really good idea. I know stuff that tends to I don't really care for things that tend to update quite a bit, because it can change the path that things go, but at the same time I don't mind that, because it allows you to go back to something that you enjoy and you can learn more about it. And it's really smart. You're thinking about the viewer. I know that's something I can tend to worry about as well, where with the subscriber, you think about people, why they're subscribed, what they're doing, and it can influence, you know, the views, why they're there to watch that, you know, whether they like the video, dislike it, don't really care for it. That's certainly something to keep in mind with things like that. Generally, I don't try to let that bother me too much, because I like to do what I like to do, but it's good to think about the viewer, like, you know, why they're there, watching the Blender tutorials. And it's good that you're thinking about them too, going back and revisiting those, considering that Blender did update. I've never really used Blender all that much. I have, in my digital media field, I have used it. I think it was like deleting the cube is the first step for that. I mean, I worked with a little bit. I never really was that great. That was like 2.5 years ago. But it was certainly something. I don't think I would get into it, but it was certainly interesting. I think it's really cool how I didn't know a software like Blender existed until back then, and it's free, mind you, and it really helps with stuff. People like you.
Yeah, for sure. And the other cool thing about Blender is that being free, you have a lot of people who are willing to share like their knowledge with Blender. So like it can be a little bit. I wouldn't say it's easy to learn, because I've heard that. Like, there's this thing I've heard about, like, programs, just in general, like, computer programs, is that there's, like, 3 aspects, like, I'm not sure how true this actually is, but, like, there's 3 aspects, in a program. It's easy to use, it's cheap, and it's, what's the other one? Basically, the idea is, shoot, I can't remember what it is. I can't remember the third thing. But it's, basically the idea is that, you have, like, if you can have something, so like the idea that makes Blender, where was I going with this? The thing about Blender is that I've heard it's trickier to use than maybe some other 3D programs like Maya, because it's free and it's easily accessible, but that means that like the learning curve might be a little bit trickier. Oh, power, that was the other one in that thing. So you have a powerful tool. So like there's 3 things in a program. There's power, price, and power, price, and now I forgot the other thing. But you get the idea.
If it's, oh no, I was gonna say cheap.
Yeah.
I was actually just gonna say, that was my idea, was like how good it is, like, the processing of it. And I forgot it too. I was trying to think too much about what it could be, but power, price.
Price, and easy to use. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
And the idea, okay, this whole thing that I've been hyping up. The idea is that a program, for any program, you can pick 2 of those 3 things. So you can either have a program that's cheap and powerful, which is probably what Blender would fall into, but it's harder to learn. Or you could have a program that's more expensive. I mean, that's easy to use and very powerful, but it's really expensive. Or you could have another program which is that's cheap, it's easy to use, but it's not very powerful. I don't know how I got off on that. It's but yeah, basically what I'm saying is, like, long story short, this whole thing, while Blender may be a little bit tricky to use, like, you have a huge community of people who are willing to share what they know about Blender and give you a little bit of advice on how to use it. And it's not just, like, you don't have to learn all of Blender. There's still things in Blender, like 3D modeling. Like, I wouldn't consider myself the best 3D modeler, but, like, you can learn, like, one aspect of the 3D pipeline and just master that, and then, like, you could even make, like, a living or a YouTube channel off of that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about certain programs and stuff like that. That's something I try to keep in mind as well. It's good that you brought that up, though, because I know personally, I use programs that they cost like a monthly subscription, like the Adobe suite, and I don't think there's any 3D modeling stuff in there, but I use video editing. Right now I'm actually using Audition for recording my voices, but you can use Audacity for free, which it works just as good. I'm just trying to take advantage of what I'm paying for, but I think I want to try to go down that route of more free stuff eventually. I know there's like editing software like DaVinci Resolve. I've heard that was pretty good, but I would have to learn it again. But it definitely is like all computer programs. You have to learn it, and you have to have that passion to learn it, which I definitely would. If I want to go down that free route, I probably would have that. But I got to make sure it has like the same quality as you said, and I shouldn't have to worry about price. And the power, it seems like it's just as good. I don't know, it could be even better than what I'm using for Premiere. It's funny we're talking about updates. I don't even update my Adobe stuff because I'm concerned if like it's going to ruin my, or something's going to change, or there's going to be some new bug and I can't really deal with it. I know there's one bug that tends to like randomly crash my program. I'm not sure, like when I open up like the files or something, when I add something new, it just tends to crash, so I have to save often. But I'm really a little concerned about like updating to like the 2020. I think it's 2021 version now. I mean, I didn't even realize you can't. It's hard to believe that it's already this year. But yeah, But at the same time, I think it definitely is important to learn new things. And it's good that you brought that up. It's almost like, funny I'm saying this, the weapon triangle of computers, like power, price,
and power, price, and shoot, why can't I remember
accessibility?
It was power, price, and easy to use.
Yeah, I think like accessibility is kind of something like the premises. I don't know. I'm trying to find another P to use.
And again, this whole triangle thing is just something I heard like a few times on the internet before. So I'm not even sure how how actually true it is, but it's just something I've seen kind of from my experience as well. But it's fun to think. I've probably
heard of it before. I think it's something you don't really think about. It's more just you go with it. Like, all right, I'm going to pay this much. Gotta know how to use this. Gotta know how to use the program and how good it is, or like how much I'm going to have to learn for it and see how like well experienced it is. Like obviously Windows Movie Maker, that's something that's not going to be very high end videos. I don't even think that comes with Windows PCs anymore. And I don't know about Macs. I know there's something called Final Cut Pro. I think that's actually costs money.
Final Cut Pro is yeah, it does cost money. I think it's about $300. But most Macs come with something called iMovie, which from what I've heard, because I haven't really used that many video editors, but from what I've heard, the general consensus is that like iMovie is like a decent video editing program. So it's not like Adobe Premiere or like Final Cut Pro, but it is it like it can get the job done.
Okay, I might as well ask, what do you use for editing your videos, since we're on this subject?
I used to use iMovie back in the day, like for some of my old like machinima videos, and I also used it for some of my first animations, even up until like 2017. But in recent times, I've been using Adobe Premiere because like I've been able to get a since I'm a college student, I've been able to get a little bit of a discount on the Adobe Suite, so that has allowed me to access some of these programs more accessibly.
Yeah, that's what I get as well, since I'm still in college. I get $20 a month. At the same time, I can be a little stingy because you don't really have a job, and it isn't really a consistent income, and you're starting to realize how much it adds up. And I think I've been going at it for 3 years now, and I paid 1 year, I paid $30, but then I changed colleges, so I was able to get the discount again to 20. But it's only a year, and then you gotta, I think you can pay infinitely 30 then, but it's better than 50 a month. I think it's actually 70 now. Like, they really upped the price for the whole Adobe suite. And the sad thing is, you're paying this much for a month, and you don't even use all that stuff. Like, I have dabbled with stuff like Dreamweaver, which I heard isn't even that good for making websites. I know people use like stuff like Wix or something like that nowadays, but I think it's certainly interesting. I would like to get back into using Dreamweaver because it's something I used in college. But I use mainly the 3, sometimes 4, actually 5, Photoshop, Premiere, Audition, and then sometimes After Effects. Rarely use that for videos, and then the media encoder. You obviously need that for encoding videos, but I really only use those and nothing else. But I know you can like pay for one, but at the same time, I like how Premiere has implementation for Photoshop, where you can like edit a Photoshop file in Premiere, and then you can save it in Photoshop, and then it, like within a few seconds, it'll update that file. You're editing right there, and that's really cool. I know After Effects can do that too, along with Audition. I like how they mix together. I think it's really it's like the price you're paying really helps for that. But I probably will eventually in the future, hopefully, either situate the money situation or get to learning the free stuff like DaVinci Resolve. I'll have to figure out a good. I know there's stuff like Paint.net, I think it is. That's kind of like Photoshop. But I've heard a lot of that stuff. I've only really used Premiere for the past 3 years, so I can understand. It's hard to go away from it though. Like it's pretty good what Premiere has to offer, and it certainly is a challenging thing to learn. I'll say, like compared to most video editors, I don't know about you, but it can be a little intimidating to learn stuff about that program. I know how to use it, basic stuff, but when I first got into it, I'm like, my videos were all screwed up, and I wasn't sure what was going on with like the aspect ratio and the quality. And eventually, I learned, it's really a lot more simpler than I thought, but it's a different concept than what most video editors use. I don't know, going off another tangent again, but I don't mind doing that. You're saying?
No, I was just saying I like tangents. Tangents are fun, so like don't worry about that.
Right. I mean, I definitely like talking to people about this kind of stuff. But I think this year I'm trying to make a resolution where I need to talk less. But obviously it's not going to go cold turkey, but I need to focus on more other stuff.
I probably need to talk more. Sorry, I interrupted you. No,
it's okay. I think I can agree with you. Like, I need to find a balance. Like, I need to talk more to people, but when I do talk to people, I talk too much. I need to talk to a variety of different people, and I guess that's what I'm doing right here. No, I'm talking to you because I never actually had a voice chat entirely with you. Actually, not before. I don't know what I'm saying. I do this weird thing where I'm like, I say I think or something, and I remember I had an English teacher quote me. They're like, oh, what do you mean you think? You know, there's only a yes or no answer. I don't know. I kind of do that where you're a little hesitant with stuff, but
I do that all the time too.